Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with SBR contributor Dave Golokhov. Today we're looking at some NHL games. The one that we're covering right now is the Bruins going up against the Penguins. Now, Boston comes into this game after falling 2-1 against the last-place Carolina Hurricanes. And they're also 3-7-2 in their last 12 games on the road. But an interesting stat here is that they've won 6 of the previous 7 meetings against the Pens. Now, that also includes that sweep from 2013 East Finals. But, you know, with the way that the club has actually been playing lately, do you expect to see any improvements from them in this matchup, Dave?
Well, I think the matchup sort of suits them a little bit. It's not, the Bruins are struggling, but the Penguins are struggling too. Pens have lost, 5 of 7. Marc-Andre Fleury is really the difference between this team being a playoff team and this team being a cup contender. Right now, this is a playoff team because Fleury is struggling. He's allowed 17 goals in his last 6 outings. And in the NHL, that just doesn't cut it. You can't allow an average of about 3 goals per game and expect to win on a nightly basis. So I think if you're betting Boston here, you're basically saying, hey, juice is a bit high on Pittsburgh. Bruins have success in this series. Bruins might be struggling, but so are the Penguins. So really, we're looking at more of a coin toss. You're getting the plus sign with the Bruins. So that's kind of what you're thinking of if you're backing the Bruins here.
All right, now, despite the Pens' 24-10-5 season record, like you said, I mean, they haven't been playing that well as of late. I mean, they've gone 2-4-1 over their last 7 games. And proof of that was this last Saturday's game where they lost 4-1 at home against Montreal. That lone goal that they scored was with the newly acquired David Perron. Now, also, it seems that goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury will be the choice for the net for the Pens. Problem is, as you pointed out, he's been erratic as of late also. I mean, he's gone 1-3-1 with 3.16 goals against average over his last 6 starts. So with all that in mind, Dave, I mean, do you expect them to be able to actually bounce back against a team like Boston at home tonight, even if they don't get that extra defensive help, considering that Paul Martin could be on the verge of returning from his undisclosed injury?
Well, yeah, I mean, with Pittsburgh, I think you're taking a look at what Boston's been doing recently if you're betting Pittsburgh. Boston, look, Pittsburgh's been struggling. Boston has been struggling all year. Pittsburgh's been struggling recently. Boston, and this has been an all-year thing. This is a team that started pretty well. It's a team that was, along with Pittsburgh, one of the teams that was favored to win the Eastern Conference, but they've just fallen off the map completely. You take a look at the month of December, Tuukka Rask, normally a Vezina Trophy-type goaltender, save percentage under 900 in that month, which is pretty brutal. He has not played well recently. This is a Bruins team that allows 3 goals per game on the road. I mean, we're talking about a team that has been one of the best defensive teams in the NHL over the last, 5-6 years. Now, all of a sudden, they're a bit of a mess. And it's kind of unclear why, what's happened with this team. So Boston is giving up a lot of goals, not scoring a bunch themselves. They don't play well on the road. They haven't played well recently. Pittsburgh has had their struggles, but it's been recent. We're talking like last couple weeks. Prior to that, they'd been one of the better teams in the NHL. So that's kind of what you're thinking of when you're betting this team and when you're betting this game. You got one team that's slumping now versus one team that's been bad all year. With Pittsburgh being at home and having the home ice advantage, that would probably tip the scales in the Penguins' favor if you're betting them.
All right, man. Now, in your article, you're actually recommending that we bet the over. But, I mean, why don't you actually trust the Pens that much?
Juice is high. They're struggling. They don't play well in this series. I'd rather avoid them in this spot. I don't like betting slumping teams and laying a bunch of juice with them. I always think that these games can be a bit of a coin toss, kind of like what we talked about yesterday. For anybody that watched our videos and bet the Sharks, you came out ahead in that one. It was a matchup of 2 teams not playing great. Minnesota, big slump, and they were laying about -160. Just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Here, Pittsburgh's different, obviously. I mean, they're a quality team that just having a couple of bad weeks. But I still don't like all that juice. Fleury struggling is a big concern. So what I'm going to do is bet the over here instead. Tuukka Rask's been giving up goals in bunches. Bruins have been allowing a lot on the road. You got Fleury, as mentioned, has not played particularly well. Even with all of that, we see a low total of 5. and I think we can get at least 5 goals in this one to push or do better. So I'll be going over with this one.
All right, man. Good stuff, Dave. Hey, thanks a lot for all the insights, and we'll be talking some more hockey again tomorrow. And for SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.